Yep.
All right. Fonz is he'll be a little bit late, but we do have a great group of people here right now. Some of them with little tiny baby carrots in their mouth, and others that are ready
I
to
fucking
rant on
wish.
this whole ABK thing, and maybe even one person that just wants to talk about feet the whole time. But we're not gonna let that person talk. We're gonna say, hey, welcome to Real Deal Xbox Podcast. And obviously, thank you for joining us. Hit the like button, share it out. We're about 20 minutes late, 15 minutes late. We needed to be this late today because we had some things we had to do that popped up last minute. And again, Fonz is going to be a few minutes late anyway, so I'd like to have him here for as much of the show as possible. But yeah, let's do some intros and we'll do some shout outs. And again, thanks for patiently waiting, guys. We do appreciate you. Seriously. D-Batch, another week, another. Hang on, let me check and make sure the audio's coming through before we waste a bunch of time. D-Batch, how you been?
I'm good, man.
Okay.
All I want to say this is about the ABK deal and millions of gamers.
Mm-hmm. Some of it is anyway. Hey, we've also got Hargeet. Hargeet's joining us. I thought it would be a fantastic show to have Hargeet on, considering the circumstances. How you been, buddy?
I've been good. I've been on vacation playing a bunch of games. Mostly it's been Danganronpa, but yeah, I've been following the fun with the whole ABK deal. But yeah,
I can tell. You about to take some ass and kick some names. Hey, we've also got Tim Dog, brother. How you been?
Good. How you guys doing? Tough week last week. Game Awards, ABK deal. We got a lot to go into, so let's get into it.
He sounds like so ecstatic about it, chat. You can hear it. The anguish. Zalker. How you been, Zalker?
Good. I'm glad we didn't get blocked. The FTC's coming after RDX and everything else, so it's gonna go great. It's fucking hilarious that exactly like 2 days after we were like, they don't have any ground to stand on, and we were just sitting here talking out of our asses. They're like, you know what? Fuck you, we're suing. So
well, they
great.
still don't have
Here
any
we
ground
go.
to stand on, and Microsoft.
I mean, no, they don't, but they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said, "Fuck you, we doing our own shit."
Brad, go home.
Yeah. I mean, but again, Fonz will be here in the next 5 minutes or so, I would imagine. And obviously, guys, let us know your thoughts as we do go. We've had a couple hundred people waiting on us, and we do appreciate your patience and all that good stuff. Big shout out to a lot of you guys in the chat, including but not limited to Charles. Shout out to you. Childish. Shout out to you. We've also got Stuffed Sean. Shout out to you. That's an interesting name. Andrew. We've got the moderators of the show, Boss Mod, Lethal Papa. We've got Ashtray Gaming channel member. We got Boba Fett channel member. And yeah, FTC. Fuck the FTC. After this is ridiculous. We got Ricky Fallon. Shout out to you. Big shout out to you, brother. And then so many others in the chat. So again, let us know your thoughts. We are going to give some patron shout outs here. These are to my patrons for the channel. Do appreciate you guys. KingKin66. We got No Hands Ninja. We got Galveston. I'm getting it. Calypso, Boba, Fierce Fuzz, Hargeet, Sean Dasley. We've got Reluctant Dodo, Dub Mobile, Ruben Almighty, Ricky Fallon, Fault Lines, Bad Boy Live, Achievement, Nano Polymath, Zordon, Costanza, KY Bob, Assassin Lupa, Foreign Object, Teo, John Blue, Veg Boss, Suicide Kings, Tasteless Genie, as well as Guillermo Cavillo, Michael Bowen, All Might, Dark CMF, and Alfonso Hogan. Big shout out to you guys. That list updates that list updates around the 5th of every month. So if you haven't checked that link down below, I just got a really funny patron today, actually. Fonz hates everything or something. It was a reference to Fonz, and I just thought it was funny. I laughed because now people are using this list to kind of say things, which is funny. And we do giveaways. So, topic of today. We usually start off with this. It's kind of something you see online. Something's happening. It's nothing too specific, but it can be very specific. Today, it's specified about someone called Sony Prophet. I don't know who this guy is, but basically, Destin Legary, and this is how it's slim pickings out here for the topic today. Destin Legary had to call this person out because they were sharing fake tweets of his, right? Of him saying that the deal for ABK is in serious trouble, and multiple sources are saying that to him. And this person, I'm sure he's not a radical Sony fan at all, was skewered on the internet. Tim Dog.
I know exactly who that person is. That guy's been doing that for numerous years. Completely obsessed with Phil Spencer, Xbox. Makes it this is his life. So really nothing new. I got a kick out of it that Dustin kind of like basically called him out on it and you know, showed how stupid it was. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. So you know,
I wish I could say something new because we've seen like numerous people running with fake tweets and a lot of times they don't, because you remember these are the same people that run with headlines of anything and don't even actually read the articles, and a lot of times they don't even know that it's fake. And I'm not saying he did or didn't. He most likely didn't give a shit either way, but I just thought it was funny, something I saw, something I could add to the topic of the day to begin with.
The funny thing is, like, he doesn't even need to do that. Like, everybody knows that when you go to court, like, you just never know what the fuck could happen.
Yeah.
Like, that's the point. So this whole suing thing, like, it's bigger than people think. And I know people are like, well, they don't got a leg to stand on. Well, yeah, to us they don't, or to some people they don't, but you just never know what could happen. And that's the thing. Like, you just, and so for him to just take Dustin or Destin, whatever, and use his tweet and Photoshop it, it's like, it's so stupid. I don't, like, it's just so dumb. Like this whole thing is going to drag out for a long time. The one thing I'm annoyed with is that now we're going to hear about this on podcasts like you are right now for the next year. And it's just going to drag out for a very long time when to be honest, there's some games we can talk about. There's other stuff that matters more. And yeah, it just is what it is.
Yeah, let's talk about all those AAA bangers on Xbox right now.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit, here he comes. Fonz hates everything. He just joined the Patreon.
Let's start with what Fonz hates to eat the most. I'm just kidding. Fonz, welcome back, man.
Multiplayer games.
Welcome back. We started like 15 late. That wasn't actually because of you, but, you know, it just kind of happened to work out. So, welcome back.
Yeah, I let you know I was going to be a little late today. It's good to be here, of course. And we're going to be talking about all of these awesome Xbox games that we're playing right now.
Hell yeah.
Amazing stuff.
Again, there's actually, I don't know if you guys have played High on Life. It is an interesting game. And it's out right now on Xbox Game Pass if you guys haven't tried it. But, of course, finish the show. But, yeah,
okay, let me ask you something about it,
right now.
You say it's interesting gameplay. Does
it's
that
an
mean
interesting
good?
Game.
Does that mean good?
Yeah, it is.
Is it fun?
It is good.
Okay,
in a different, it's random
because it's something that I've always planned on trying. I've always planned on trying it because I mean it's in Game Pass, so why not?
And it did, and you're going to be playing Fonz at the best time because when it released, it had major performance issues across the board. But they patched it, I think, today,
really,
which helped.
About that.
Which helped with a lot of the issues. Yeah. Like I said, when I played it on my PC, it was running super smooth, and I was like, "What issues are we talking about here?" And then I looked, and I was like, "Oh, it got fucking patched." So I've got Callisto to finish, and then I'm going to go to this, and then whatever else, you know.
Yeah, I was actually going to go in on the performance stuff and kind of talk to you, like at least mention it and talk about the performance issues. But if you're saying it's fixed on console, it's fixed.
Yeah. Supposedly it got a day one patch on console, so that's fixed, and it also got a patch on PC, which fixed a lot of the performance.
What did they do? Just leave it in quad core mode on accident? Like I mean.
Bro, what's up with these patches that, you know, they come out pretty quickly after release, but it's like
it's almost like I think it's almost locked 60 on the Series X. Like that's the type of patch it gave. Like they gave it a real it fixed a lot of stuff.
But if it didn't get patched though, will we be hearing, you know, from people?
Oh, a lot of people. There's people. The funny thing is that you know the game is like zany and weird, right? Like that's when I've been playing it, I'm like, this is just freaking funky, and that's what people said. Like, game's funky, it's pretty cool, but the performance is hitching a little.
But will we hear those people talk about how the consoles aren't powerful enough because they don't understand how the shit works, or what?
I mean, who knows? It's not powerful enough. We know that. A talking gun is just too much.
Look.
We can't
what's
do it.
going on
literally
with
running at like 30 FPS sometimes. So they've literally like basically doubled the performance of the game with a day one patch, which is kind of incredible.
What about that Witcher 3 update and, you know, the frame rate deal there between that and the PlayStation 5 version? It seems like the frame rate dips a bit more on the Series X.
Is there like a discrepancy anywhere else, or?
Yeah, I don't know why, but.
Is it like resolution? Like, is it like Need for Speed where it's running at 30% more pixels? Like, or is it something like that? And I haven't
got no idea.
I haven't seen the video.
They haven't. Digital Foundry hasn't gone into it, but a lot of people are just posting these things about like, oh, it's this and it's running better frames, and it, you know, the frames have turned into the resolution thing. Like now it's like it's all about the frame.
Nobody looks at the resolution. The resolution's rarely higher on the other system. But
I mean,
again,
Need for Speed, was it Need for Speed or? What game was it that ran PlayStation 5? Like it sometimes dips to 720p.
Jeez.
There was a recent game that just came out that was all over Twitter that it jumps down to 720p at some point.
Forspoken?
Was it Forspoken?
Yeah,
I'm not.
Forspoken.
Well, that was just a
Forspoken,
guess.
thank
Holy
you.
shit.
Thank you. That I was trying to remember the name.
Pons,
Yeah,
have you
so
played
there-
Forspoken, by the way?
Trash.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, well, I
And,
want to come back to that. We can't.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
I guess go ahead and give
Yeah.
us your thoughts on Forspoken since you played it. It's only on PS5 for 2 years.
I gave it a good college try. I did 20 minutes of it. And I think that's pretty good for a demo. You can get the feel for a game in 20 minutes, especially with that game. It feels very dated in combat. The dialogue is just atrocious. It's probably some of the worst dialogue ever. And I
Damn.
guess, yeah, it's pretty bad. Your talking bracelet says some of the stupidest things while you're fighting, and it's bad. So, anyways, the one good thing I'll say about it though is I do like the traversal. I like running across the landscape. She's got like these superpowers, and that part's fun. But the combat, it's not very fun. The AI is really bad, to the point where I put it on hard and it was still easy. All it did was make the AI more spongy, or the enemies.
It
more
just buffed
spongy.
their life, yeah.
Yeah,
To make up for
And
bad AI, they just buff aimbotting.
It was
or some kind of
terrible AI though. It's like they hardly ever try to hit you, and or maybe it's that when you hit the buttons and you're just doing chaotic things and mashing shit, you can just get away from them. It's weird.
Well, Shiv Moon says it looks like a PS3 game. Is that the case?
No, I don't think it looks that bad. It looks okay to me. I don't have a problem with the visuals. I really have a problem with the enemies, just the bad AI and the gameplay. It's not very fun. And I'm not the only one. There's tons of guys out there that I've seen on Twitter, even some PlayStation guys that said, yeah, I'm canceling my pre-order.
And you wonder why people don't do demos anymore.
Well, I mean, come on. This is a demo. I understand what you're getting at, but it's a month out, and those people that are thinking, oh, they can polish things up. No, this is what you're getting.
You're
I mean,
saying
it's
that's
a
so
month away.
trash that
Well,
it's
I
just
mean,
no hope.
just make a game where you don't have to fear when you do put out a demo.
Well,
There you go.
that's
Yeah.
hard.
Solved.
Tucker. That's
Make
really hard.
a good game.
Yeah,
That's it. That's it.
yeah. Like, I mean, I know. Like, I'm just saying. That's Forspoken was always a game that I'm like, I'll wait for it. Like, it's no big deal. I'm not in a rush. High on Life was a game that, Fortnite just took over my life. I've been playing Fortnite like crazy, but like, I'm just after playing High on Life, like that's something I want to go through because of how just creative it is. I think it's far more interesting. Like, it kind of. I know this sounds weird. It reminds me of like an adult Psychonauts. Like in first person,
Kinda.
like it's just it's so creative, like art wise and
Bro,
just
somebody
kind of
said
crazy.
somebody was saying on Twitter that this game, High on Life, has a full-length B movie from the 90s, Tammy and the T-Rex.
I think, yeah, you can watch it like if you want.
That's crazy. You can sit and watch the TV within the game and watch a whole movie. It's like playing a PlayStation game on your Xbox.
That's a Kojima game.
Oh,
not a
that's
PlayStation.
toxic.
Come on. That's
You mean the games you like, Fonz? Or...
Yeah, I love them.
By the way,
It's a
I
joke.
mean, like the clip
I
I
know.
showed on Twitter, right, where you could literally stab the guy. The knife ass, you could just stab the guy. You can go stab him if you want, right?
Yep.
It does little shit like that. Or after you beat a boss, like something else pops out and you can kill him or not. And
I shot the kid. I totally shot the kid.
Oh, everyone shot the kid.
He's like, "What are you gonna do about it, bitch?" Start
But it
pushing
turns
me. I was
out
like, "All right, motherfucker."
they showed that part of the gameplay already, like publicly. Like he's not
Yeah.
really a kid, but yeah. I mean, again, it's. I think it's an interesting game. That's the gameplay you're seeing right now. It's a lot of Rick and Morty type humor. If you haven't played it, do so. It's on Game Pass. Unless you're a child, then go to sleep, and the rest of you play it.
Another game that I've been seeing a lot, and I mean a lot on Twitter, which surprises me. I got to give a shout out to Foreign Object. He's a listener to the show. He actually just bought me a freaking Midnight Suns Steam code, which he's really awesome. I really appreciate
Foreign
that.
Object,
But that's
are you
a
the
game.
one giving Zalker all these PC games?
He is. 100%.
Why you bought the wrong version for
He's my inside source, bitch. No, he literally just like I've seen that game outside of just like that, right? I've seen it everywhere where people are like, I'm enjoying this game. Be it Xbox, PlayStation, like every single person I've seen that's played the game has enjoyed it a lot. So I'm looking forward to jumping into that once the holiday season breaks in, because I think that's going to be the game I get into, because it's apparently like 50, 60 hours long and it's an RPG and it just looks cool, man. I can't wait to get into it. The gameplay is the standout, which is always good for me. So I'm looking forward to jumping into that. I just wanted to give For an Object a massive shout out for that, and I really appreciate it, man.
For an
That's
object,
awesome.
you the man. All right.
Yeah, no, it was just cool. I don't ever ask for anything, and he was just like, "Yeah, it's holiday season. I'm in."
You begged him in the DMs.
You know, there
I
are-
I
I was like,
know.
"Yo, Foreign, what are you doing, man? You got $5."
And then you said, "Can I have $25 too? Thanks for the game. Can I have 25?"
Hey, you know,
You got $5.
look,
Xbox ain't got no games,
there
man.
are-
Help me out.
there are some out there that you know, they got to get them codes. But again, you know,
Yep. Shout out to the salty one.
the who?
Oh
No,
my
nothing.
god.
Hey,
Who?
that was now you're making people blush and whatnot.
Oh man,
I'm
people are
trying
like,
to
"Oh,
get
they-
back to the damn. Zachary, you want to get these chats while I get the topics up here and
Yeah, can you get
all
your
this.
shit together, dealer? I got
and
it.
look, they're building up again. We started about 20 minutes late, guys. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Hargy, thank you for the chats again.
You the
buddy.
man, Hargy.
Yeah. So we got Danny Patchett official. He says, "I finally got my new PC 4090. Please don't sue me."
Oh,
Nice.
Oh yeah,
Congrats.
welcome, baby. We got Eric 83. Court date supposedly August 2023. I guess that's when the court date for that starts. They're probably gonna have to renegotiate that deal.
I guess that deal ain't going through until 2024.
if it
people.
goes through, and by then they'll have
Probably. And
basically
if it goes
PlayStation on
through.
Call of Duty at that point.
Yeah, and by then, there's gonna be Diablo 6. We got Fire Z71. He says, "Yeah, Colt, get Colt to swear next time he's on, and I'll give y'all a 20 anyhow fire panel. Much love to you. All best podcast and gaming. Xbox will be fire soon, boys. Just get into private chat with Colt, and trust me, you'll get him to swear.
Yeah.
That's he's a little fraud in public, but in the real life, he's like, "Fuck
He'll say
everyone."
things like he'll say things like fudge all the time.
Yeah. He says Sony fans are not nice humans. We got Outbreak Podcast. He says Dealer, Fonz,
What's up,
Tindon,
Dave?
Zalker, D, Batch, Hargeet. What's this Fable news you're teasing? The ABK deal is going to pass. Have a great show, panel.
Fable news.
Thanks, Outbreak.
Hey, shout out to
The
you, Dave.
Fable news is, trust me, you don't want to know this Fable news. It ain't good news.
It
we
ain't
got
bad
Phase
news,
20
but it ain't good news. But it is
You're
news.
you're so stupid. We got Phase 23 Brooklyn, New York. It says performance mode on PS5 and Series X. Common resolution is around 1512p. For The Witcher 3 next gen update, Series X drops to 50 FPS. PS5 is close to lock 60.
Which is weird because the game locks at 60 on the 1X. Now, if you had the 1X enhanced, or if you were running the 1X version on the Series X, it was running at 60 FPS lock. And we know this game isn't maxing out CPUs like this. So,
It's a
again,
7-year-old game.
it's another
too. Like,
case
what
of
the
a game
fuck?
that's going to get patched. And then, who knows? Maybe those 150 developers from Callisto Protocol went there and helped.
They
Look,
probably did.
I saw somebody else say it was 1692 average. So I mean, we need like a full in-depth analysis. It was happening in cities. It wasn't happening in normal landscape. and normal
Novigrad.
gaming.
Yeah.
So we'll see, right? So and to your point, maybe they do just optimize it and patch it later.
They almost have to. This game was taken
yeah.
from Saber Interactive when all this stuff over there was happening, and CD Projekt took it on themselves apparently, or handed it out to someone else. And but as long as it's great overall, I don't expect this thing to push hardware really, but I do expect it to make the best RPG ever made even better.
Can you just repeat that? You said that it only is happening in cities and not in like where you're on a mission or a quest or
Yeah,
whatever.
so when you're out normally running around, even on your horse or you're fighting, like it's all fine. It's lock 60, but when you're
In
in
the
cities,
one town, yeah.
yeah, it can be a little overwhelming for some reason. Now it could be like they're just like streaming assets and it's not fast enough. Something like that's happening, and that's just an optimization.
But here's the thing:
Yeah.
it goes all the
Right.
way down to like 52, which if you have BRR2, I know it's not a crutch. It's not supposed to be used as a crutch.
Yeah.
But if you have it, you won't notice.
Yeah,
That's so
and
fucking
it shouldn't be
annoying.
dropping frames
I
at
don't
all.
like I mean I get it. Don't drop frames, but I get really annoyed when it's just like that one thing, and then that's what 20 minutes of the video is about. Is
Yeah.
that one frame in a 200-hour game? Like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I don't know. It's fucking annoying.
Well,
Like,
that's
who
what
gives a
Digital Foundry
shit
do.
anymore?
They produce the
Well,
weapon.
it wasn't
they
them.
produce
I don't
the
think it was
ammo
them.
for the
Wasn't them
console
yet.
war, and I'm sure they'll be
Yeah.
on it like crazy when they make a video. So
Yeah, I just need that shit. I don't know. It's getting old. I don't care.
Facts.
Like, just play a fucking game where you want to play. We got Meat Puppet 007. He says, "Will 2023 deliver delayed Xbox games, or will it be a repeat of 2022? RDX is the best. Keep up the good work.
Meat
It better
Puppet.
fucking bring out games."
Meat Puppet, that is a good question, but I don't think it's worth worrying too much about it. But wait till next E3. So
Hey, next 6 months, I'm fucking calling it. If they don't bring out those games that they promised at E3 in the next 6 months, I'm gonna be fucking
Phil
furious.
Spencer crawled
Calling
through
it
your
here.
window and got on one knee and promised you.
He did. He came in with a Starfield helmet and everything. He was like, "I promise they coming."
So-
I'm like, "All right,
Does
Phil."
that mean like the last when they had that show and they showed Starfield and all that stuff, and they,
Yep.
you know, E3, and they said this will come out within the next 12 months.
I told you guys
So by
Starfield wasn't
June-
coming out in 12 months.
So
It
by
better.
June, Starfield has to come out.
I already told you it wasn't happening. It
That's
may,
not
who
good.
knows? Maybe
It's
it
not a
will,
good
but
look.
I don't know.
That's
just
not a good look.
I don't know. I don't know if you said it. I don't know who, but I said that I've said it for a long time that I think it's holiday next year. And if that's the case, then you better bring something else out because I'm gonna be fucking pissed if it's just those
anyway,
3 games.
we're gonna say I'm pissed hour. This is the hey, we got shit to be pissed about, but we're gonna try to make it an entertaining hour.
I'll take a piss. I don't care.
You can go ahead and pee straight up. Hey, but we're going to go ahead and move forward. Big shout out to almost 900 people already here, guys. We started about 20 minutes late. Said it again. Say it again. Hit the like button. Help us out a little bit. We do appreciate you. As we do move into the damn topics, that was just the topic of the day, and there's like 5 in there. That was weird. But we do have others, right? The Game Awards. There were losers. There were winners. The losers were almost all of us almost all of you that watched it. I didn't bother. But
Xbox, pretty much.
Xbox showing up with a handful of sand. And then we've got, a few new announcements, right? From Software's working on like an Armored Core game, right? They've got Hades 2 announced. Who won Game of the Year, for those that don't know, Zauker? And did they have any new announcements?
Game of the Year was Game of the Year was Bill Clinton. He won it.
Yeah,
No,
that
it
was
was
funny.
Hey,
it's Elden Ring one, of course. I mean, if it was anyone else, you're crazy. So Elden Ring won Game of the Year, which is great. A lot of I don't know, man. I didn't watch it where I just sat there. I just had it on my tablet in the corner while I was playing games. And every time, but the I don't know about you guys, but the most impressive game I saw at the Game Awards was Space Marine 2. That looked fucking insane.
It was one of the most impressive, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah, dude, like insane. It didn't look like it was like, damn, that looks 22 frames per second. Like it looked 60. It looked fucking clean.
it was
looked
running on a
violent.
4090.
I don't
For
give
me,
a
it
shit
looked
what it was
fun.
running on.
It just looked a lot of fun.
I'm just saying, performance,
Yeah.
we'll see about that.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, we'll see performance, but it just looked, they presented it very well. And it didn't look crappy. They used cool stuff. It looked epic. Like World War Z, obviously the same developer, but obviously it's Space Marines, and it just looks great. And I think it's a 3-player co-op game. So it just looks insane. I can't wait to play that game. It's one of my most anticipated games if it's coming out next year. It's
Dude,
like that and Diablo are right there for me.
I never played Space Marine 1, but this game actually has me hyped for it. I think it looks really good. Looks really fun.
I beat it I beat it when it first came out back, I think it was 2011, and then I just recently beat it on my Steam Deck because it doesn't run on Windows unless you change your stuff to like one core. But since it's running on Linux on the Steam Deck, it runs perfectly on there. It's great, dude. It's such a good game.
Judas looks good, man. Judas,
Yeah.
like Ken Levine, BioShock.
Yeah.
Yes, that looks excellent, man.
RWK, shout out to you. He says, dealer, all you have to do is see if Warren Buffett is still holding on to Activision stock. If he's selling, then it's not going through. I think he did sell some, didn't he?
I think he did, yeah.
That motherfucker. Shout out to Warren Buffett. He watches the show every day.
It's just not worth holding on for now. He's just basically like, fuck it. Those people don't take risks, man. They're risk averse.
Well, they got there because they took risks, but
did they? Or did they because they daddy got money too?
Why you got problem with people dad, huh? Fucking shit. Again, shout out to everyone here. The Game Awards, Tim Dog. I know that you watch. This is your buddy Keeley. He tweets at you sometimes. He sends you pictures of stuff. What
what's up with
happened there,
Keegs?
and what were your takeaways from the Game Awards?
To be honest, at first I kind of was like, telling all the Xbox fans, they're gonna have a show, and which they probably will. But in retrospect,
You talking about Xbox
at
having
it-
a show?
Yeah, Xbox really didn't come prepared for this, and they really kind of missed the ball. And the more I look back on it, a lot of Xbox fans were pissed off that night. And for me personally, what happened was I was kind of cued off where I heard it was going to be light. I didn't think that meant nothing. But I kind of was a little like set up for it. But to have nothing, or to have very like a Samsung ad, I don't even think they had High on Life on there. They had like the
Had like
Samsung
5 seconds of
Cloud.
Starfield that has already been around.
Which we've already seen a game clip. They went very light, and I don't know why they did that. I don't know if it was something personal between ESA and Phil and Jeff, or if they obviously what I do think is they have a plan to have a show to date the games that are coming in the next 6 months, to show them off and that stuff. But it was a kick in the gut for a week 2022, and for them to have that type of show. Like I saw Obi was upset. I kind of get it. I gotta get the people upset. They kind of missed the ball there, and they always have this. More so in the past, they always had this like totally what's the word? Just not not in reality, or just like their head up their ass moment. And sure enough, they showed that. And I think it was a hard day because the FTC thing came, and you saw Phil, and Phil he didn't want to be there.
Well, so why was he there though? Why was he sitting there with Sarah Munn?
I think I don't know why they would show them when they had nothing. Like, wouldn't you have enough foresight to say, we're gonna be light, which they knew that they were. Don't just have like maybe Sarah there or somebody like Aaron. Don't have Phil there. They kept going to Phil whenever Phil, like anything would happen, like Sony wins again. And it was like
they're looking at Phil like, hey,
and it's just like
Phil's rolling his eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Bullshit.
it was really uncomfortable, and they got to do better than that. And listen, I've been happy with Xbox because I think that they got Bethesda, and I think that they really try to get this Activision thing that obviously is in lieu now. But they deserve to be chastised on that because
listen, there's some people that are just grumpy about everything. There's people that are mad and grumpy and upset about everything, and they're negative about everything. And then there's people that see Xbox have, again, me, I'm not going to rail on this shit because it gets old, but there's people that see Xbox have their first party year, their worst first party year in history, then have the worst E3 I think they've ever had. Not E3, but the showcase for summer is one of the worst I've ever seen. And basically tell everyone to fuck off, come back in 12 months. That's what they did. And their engagement and their all that, it's all visible. So it's pretty obvious that maybe after all that you would want to show something. But again, I didn't expect anything substantial there at the Game Awards. Was I upset about it? No, because I kind of didn't expect anything substantial. I've kind of accepted that this year is what it is, and I'm going to light it on fire and bury it in the backyard when the next year hits.
I don't know, man. The problem I have with it was like I was looking forward to the announcements, the games, all that, all great. Like I love looking at every game. It doesn't have to just be Xbox. The problem is that in the next 6 months they're supposed to be releasing all these fucking games. So I thought at least like a date announced for Redfall.
Well, that's why we had to give context with Aaron Greenberg and stuff and what he said, right?
I get, yeah, but he says that every goddamn.
He's like, hang on a second, bitch, we done.
He's like every year he says
but
that.
I'm just saying,
and I gotta say, and I gotta even the guy, like, dude, they just dropped right now the Riot Games like partnership in Game Pass. It's fucking massive. It takes up the whole thing when you launch Game Pass on PC. It is huge, and they don't even talk about that at the Game Awards. Like, hey, we have this massive deal where you get all fucking characters of League of Legends or all this.
True.
Like nothing, and it is one of the biggest deals in PC
old
right
ass
now.
game, but yeah,
No, it's not. It's not. No, dude, it's not.
It's League of Legends. It's old as fuck.
It's one of the
PC.
biggest. It's one of the most played games in the fucking
Solitaire
world.
collection and next E3.
Come on,
Valorant.
this is a problem they've had even before 2022.
Yeah, they're
marketing
not the greatest at it.
is a big problem for them, and they need to start marketing much better than they have been. It's really abysmal.
D-Batch,
They got better. I'm gonna say they got better for a little bit, and it's like they're backsliding. And I was disappointed at the award show. There was no representation.
Your mic just went down.
There was no representation for Xbox. It was horrible in that sense. It felt like a Sony show. Like all the games that were like Sony related that were shown, the fans were going crazy. If it wasn't a Sony related games, the fans were kind of quiet. No representation for Xbox at all, and that really annoyed me. With that said, though, I did enjoy the show because they did show some freaking good games, man. Like,
Yeah, some cool shit.
like I'm not a fan of Death Stranding. I know some people do like the game. It's a walking simulator, but what they showed, it looked cool. Crime Boss, Rocky City, that looks incredible. Danny Glover, like Chuck Norris, like there's so many people in that game. It looks incredible. I'm excited to play that. Even I'm not into Final Fantasy at all, and that looked really good. It was a good showing. I actually jumped out of my seat when they showed Armored Core. I remember playing Armored Core back in the day, and like I'm actually excited for this game. I didn't even know that they made that game because I'm just so used to them making the Soul games. I totally forgot that they used to make that game.
How many of those have they made? Was it all of them?
It
wasn't all of them.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how
Somebody
many
in the chat can let us know.
I just remember playing them back in the day, and they were pretty fucking hardcore. I fucking loved them, man.
Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West was exciting for me to see that they're gonna break away from the PlayStation 4, and it's just gonna be on the PlayStation 5, and it looked pretty cool.
Explain that. What do you mean?
The expansion.
Oh, so they're going to break off with the expansion.
Burning Shores or whatever it's called. They're making it next gen exclusive, and it looks insane.
The shore of old PS4 that's on fire. Yeah, they're leaving that behind. That's interesting. I wonder if they'll add more mechanically.
I think so. I think we're gonna get some new things. It looks incredible, man.
By the way, Herbie in the chat, I'm fucking around. You watch the show at all? I'm fucking around and saying shit to get a rise out of people on the panel, right? Like the League of Legends thing. I know it's a massive game. Do I think they could have mentioned it? Of course I do.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, that expansion looks cool too.
Yeah,
look fire. Jedi Survivor, Diablo, Street Fighter, Suicide Squad, Tekken, Space Marines. Like, fuck, it was a good show. They even announced The Last of Us and Returnal for PC. It was kind of like a silent announcement, kind of. But anyways, it's coming to PC. Overall, like, if you're into games, it was a pretty good show. Even Replace. I'm looking so forward to Replace. I know it's like an 8-bit side scroller. Maybe some guys don't like
that game is something I've been looking forward to for 2 years, man. That game looks legit.
There's only one problem I had with it.
Can't wait to play it.
I think that they showed us a lot of what we've already seen before. Like we've known about these games. We've seen some things about these games. Yeah, they showed different looks, but the issue I had was most of the games, there was no real like announcements that blew me away or anything. Something that I didn't know was coming.
What about
Crime Boss is one of the few, but it's Crime Boss to me reminds me of kind of like old school Saints Row, but a first person look. Because it's zany like that. Yeah, it's zany.
Incredible.
Listen, we should all be talking about how Stray didn't win Game of the Year right now.
Yeah, I'm mad at that.
That's first and foremost.
I'm salty.
Yeah, you're just a little upset about that.
So
am I.
But what I would say is that I think the reason why everybody was disappointed, at least Xbox fans, was because if you notice anything, Sony hasn't had a show in over a year now. And you don't see people complaining about it. And it's because just like in sports, winning like cures all. Games cure everything. If you bring out games and people are fucking happy, they're not going to complain that you don't have a show because they're too busy playing goddamn games.
True.
Yeah.
So
and by the way,
that's the problem. That's why every Xbox fan's like, we need a presence. It's like, no, we need fucking games. The presents, I don't give a shit. I don't care. Like I want games in front of us, and once we have those, then it's like cool. That's the cherry on top. The shows are the cherry.
I
on
mean,
top.
We need games, but obviously we need first party games, right? Because if you just needed games, then you wouldn't give a fuck if they were first or not. It's some other principle that matter with first. But they got some great IP and stuff we want to see more from too. Fonz,
I just want to say real quick about Stray though. It did win a lot more than Horizon Forbidden West. So.
I think I won just as much as Horizon.
Why do you got to bring that up?
Yeah,
just now.
I just like throwing that game in the dirt every chance I get.
It's so
boring and it pisses so many people off.
Her head into the ground hard
pisses
enough.
So many people off all the time. Aloy's the most boring character guys ever made. I love it. I love it.
Anyway, we got 1,000 people here watching.
Some more people.
Let us know what you think about Aloy getting drop kicked in the face by Fonz. And obviously, let us know your thoughts. Hit the like button. Tell everybody we're live. We do appreciate you. We started about 20 minutes late. And we just got done because, the Game Awards, they are what they are. Keeley did say, hey, it's a smaller show. But, again, they did have notable announcements there as well. I think that Xbox in the past, I would say, fuck it, don't even go there, Xbox. But that's in a year where we might have some games or maybe a better showing in the summer. Maybe this year, that's why everything's relative. You don't have so much throughout the year. Maybe at this big event, maybe have something. I think that's where some people are coming from. But I definitely get both sides. I don't think it's the greatest idea to just skip out on one of the biggest events, if not the biggest of the year. But Greenberg did say, and I know it's his job, but they were very adamant about you won't have to wait much longer, which means they got to have something for... They got to have something for very late this year, because we're at the fucking end, or they got to have something very early in the next year.
Yeah,
It ain't happening this year.
No. I think they're. Listen, I think they're. If I can channel my Seattle, they're what do you call them? Fire rooms or whatever they call it. I think they're thinking, oh, okay, 2022 is long forgotten. Let's not talk about 2023 in 2022. Let's talk about 2023 in 2023. And let's start off the year in January with some type of event or digital type of thing where we can show these games. Listen, Forza, which I heard is amazing, and I heard some really good stuff. So I know dealers are going to be happy with that.
I've heard the same things, I'm sure.
Yeah, I heard that, especially with Series S, in-game ray tracing for Series S is something to be really kind of...
At 480p.
Is that on track, quote unquote, or is that...
Yes, it's in-game. So, they haven't shown anything on that. They showed CG on Forza, so they very well could have shown a trailer at TGA of Forza and dated it. But, we're 6 months out, according to them. And I do think that they are close, because I know some of the games that they're close on. I know Starfield is not that far away. So they have to date these games, show these games more. They got, I would like a level show of Starfield. They also have a ton of Game Pass stuff coming in the first half of 2023. So it's going to warrant a show. And I think that their thinking is like, let's show it in 2023 to gear us up and then just have the games hit.
Are they all games for 10-year-olds, though? Because Johnny T in the chat, he says Xbox don't got nothing for nobody but 10-year-olds.
No,
is that true?
For 10-year-olds?
I think Stalker.
Johnny, quit being a fuckface, okay?
You're making the games for soccer.
Listen to the games that they could that are slated for the 6 months. It's Stalker 2, which could get delayed to the end of the year, but we'll see.
Oh, I don't think that game's coming at all.
No,
next year.
I heard that some of the teams now moved from UK, so I don't think it might come in the first half. But Minecraft Legends, Wulong in March. I believe they have a deal with the show where they're going to have the show exclusively on Game Pass again. That'd be the deal with Major League Baseball, I believe, or I'm inclined to think. They have Atomic Heart, Wulong, Minecraft Legends, like I said, show, the 3 AAAs, possibly Stalker, and that's
this upcoming year looks infinitely better, right?
Right, but even the first 6 months, so they have to. My point is, they have to explain this and communicate this.
Yeah,
or there's something really wrong.
You're very right,
because,
Tim.
When do you guys remember a game being not shown off and not even dated within like 4 to 6 months of its release?
Gotta work.
That doesn't happen.
Well, it was shown off, but it wasn't dated.
Right, but you haven't. We've seen CGI for Forza.
No,
that's it.
We've seen in-game gameplay.
We haven't seen, they showed like the
it was a bunch of it. Like, yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, that was all in game.
Yeah, it looked like it was CGI, but that's how good it was.
Oh my god,
the graphics are too good. They didn't show.
No, but they haven't showed it being played.
I get that was being played, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
On the track, you know what I mean? Like, so they obviously have to show that off and date that. They obviously have to show more Starfield and date it, and they have to show Redfall and date it. So there's no way around it. They're at a critical point where they can't do it in March and then have these games come out a month later. I mean, that's asinine. So
that might be what happens, though, Tim. Like, I think, everything that's been happening, I think, has been mostly about the stupid regulatory crap
I agree.
Regulators.
Hang on, I want to hear from Hargeet. And remember, just because Hargeet could have a point here, these games are dropping on Game Pass, and when that's the case, motherfuckers are playing it whether or not you got marketing or the traditional marketing. It's more of a Netflix style word of mouth wildfire marketing now. It could be
like High on Life. Has that been marketed a lot? I guess
Not
people
really.
are playing it though.
Wasn't even at the
It's
game
being
show.
played.
Wasn't even at the game show. Came out today.
Yeah. No, it's a massive missed opportunity, right? Like the Game Awards has now become the biggest viewership entertainment vector. Period. It's in the like 90ish million viewers, and that by far outdoes everything else. The Oscars are like 15 million. It's so big. E3 is
Fucking
usually around
Super
3 to
Bowl.
5 million.
Super Bowl.
Just putting it
Super Bowl
in
numbers.
perspective, right? It's so big. You need to be there. But I think everything that's been happening recently is in response to what Sony has done, and I don't think Microsoft expected Sony to become such a bitch and try to like literally
They knew they were a bitch, but yeah, they didn't expect them to get their way or at least
not
halt
this
everything.
far, right? Like
This is where I don't agree with you though, Hargeet. I don't think that they are holding back because of the whole FTC
I 100%
debacle.
think they are.
Do you know why I don't think they did?
Why?
Because they showed the one thing that they've been bitching about most, Game Pass, and they pushed Game Pass hard. They should
As
be
an ad.
pushing their
Yeah,
games. Yeah, but they're so if that shows up at the show, why can't they show games that have been already announced, like Avowed? Show gameplay.
Yeah.
But Fonz, what would the Sony response be to that? What would they say about that? Right? But
They would say they had a monopoly on the Game Awards or something?
I think, listen.
No, this is exactly it, right? Because everything they've set up to now, Sony has taken that, weaponized it, and sent it back to the regulator saying, look at what they do. Oh my God, can you see what they've done? Look at this. We can't survive it. Like, this is exactly what they do. And if they had put out, which they should have, they should put out, here's another game coming, brand new announcement, something like that. They would just come out and say, regulators, look, we can't compete with them. Look at this.
They're fucking us, help! Like, yeah, I mean,
and all Microsoft would have to do is show them the 69 meta scores they get for every game they put out. That's all they would have to do.
It ain't that bad.
They don't believe Microsoft, right? They've outright said it. The regulators don't believe Microsoft. They've outright said it. So they don't care what Microsoft says. So now they're playing this game that they have to deal with this, right? And so that's what it is. I think that's why they're like, even the $70 announcement. Why would you make that announcement without a game?
I got to say that they don't believe Microsoft because Microsoft, they were lying. They were trying to lie, and I kept saying on the show, they're not going to fucking fool regulators. Stop telling them one thing publicly, and then behind the scenes telling Jim Ryan you got a 3-year deal. Or now it was 10 years, right? I kept saying this over and over, and people was like, they're trying to do it for the regulators. This is why I was saying this.
You know what?
They're not stupid.
You know what?
The worst part is that they're a second offender. This is why it's not. This is why I'm telling people this might not go through because this is not Microsoft's first time that they've been sued by this stuff.
So what was the other one?
Well,
the other one was 1990. Yeah, another one, and then so when you're a second offender, that's when it's like they throw everything.
All right, let me just stop this. Hold on. Let me just stop this FTC.
It doesn't matter.
They held back because the FTC talked. This is some bullshit. Because here, let me tell you why. Next, okay, so you guys are all hyping up for what Aaron said, and there might be a show next month. What are they going to do?
Don't say you all.
What are they going to do? What are they going to do? They're going to show stuff.
Hang on.
And if they show stuff then, why couldn't they show stuff in front of 90 million people? Why?
First and foremost, nobody said they couldn't show anything. We all agreed that they should have and
why would they hold
things.
back? Why would they hold back for that?
I don't agree that it's because of regulators and all the shit either that they held back.
It
that's
doesn't.
just one person's opinion, and he's allowed to have that opinion.
Doesn't make any sense though.
He's allowed to have the opinion
at all.
I think it's a fine opinion to put in there, and it's definitely put in there by other people. For me, it was curious why they didn't do that. I don't know the answer. We'll never find out the answer. But to say that isn't out of the realm of possibility. Now, my point is that I agree that now it's getting to a point where this deal really, if it's going to stagnate you this much, and it's going to make you basically not talk for a whole year, and basically make 2022.
Oh, hang on. There's hardcore drugs about to come up on the screen because of this game. I just got to give a warning. So
I literally just saw that. Okay. And I was like,
that was hardcore drugs. If you didn't know what that was, I'm sorry.
But my point is that they might they have to come to a point where they have to reevaluate and or not care what they do. Like they can't worry about now looking like some type of citizen to the FTC. They have to do what they've always done to get ahead. And if that's going to cause the deal to break, let it so be it. At this point, they have to move on. They cannot let it stagnate them like they did this year. End of the story. It's a new year. They have a lot of games. They cannot let this
The only
become a
thing,
thing that hurts them.
the only thing I would agree with, like, I think Fonz has a good point. I think Hargi, like, I don't know what the answer is, but I do know that the big thing that the FTC actually did write specifically about was Starfield, was Bethesda, and was Redfall. And they wrote about that, saying that the EU, that Microsoft, that they have evidence that Microsoft promised this stuff in the EU. And then the EU was like, no, they didn't. But the wording that Xbox or Microsoft used was very fucking weird. It was very vague, and that's what like Dealer, and that's what a lot of us said. That like, yeah, the wording they used is, very vague, and that's what the FTC is not trying to fuck around with now. So I do see a point where maybe that's why they weren't there, because they didn't want to show those games to 80 million people and be like only on Xbox, like right? They didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And
that's a
so
good point.
that's something that I
That's a
can
good
see.
point.
But I also see that you've literally shat the bed the entire year, that you need to show at least something. And next year, obviously, they're gonna have to show stuff anyways, because these things are coming out. But who knows? Maybe Starfield doesn't come out till the holiday season, or maybe it doesn't come out till the courts start, and it doesn't matter what they say once the court starts.
What was the 90s
So-
thing that happened with them? Somebody in the
Probably
chat
something
wanted
with
to know.
Windows. It's probably something with Windows.
No, it was Internet Explorer. It was
Yeah.
Internet
Fucking
Explorer.
Internet
Yeah.
Explorer.
Yeah, so they're a second offender. So that's the one thing from that I've read, that if you're a second offender, they go fucking hard on you, because then that means
we-
you're not respecting the process, and like you didn't learn your lesson type of shit.
Yeah.
And so now this is being a second offender is bad.
But again,
I
like
don't
this
know.
isn't like it's like they don't.
They're
It's
different
kind of weird to even I don't know. Again, like it's a second offender. It's like you went out and stole something, you did it again meaningfully, right? It was malicious. This is hey, we're going to buy something or try to for what is mostly a mobile market. That's really what we're paying most of this money for, and we're still third. And we're really thinking we're going to be able to do a lot, compete in a lot of different ways into the future with this acquisition. It's completely different than something.
Yeah, they just don't care. They just don't care about the 10-year
Just-
thing. Like
just-
they
I
just
guess-
don't give a fuck.
And just to preface, I know that somebody said August 2023 is the date. There is a possibility that they can talk and they can drop the lawsuit and they can come to some type of remedy
It's a
in the time.
mediation.
Right,
Yeah.
a mediation type thing. And I've heard that that's what's going to end up happening. But, we shall see. The more it drags on, CMA, EU, and everything, if they both all block, I think then Microsoft's just going to just throw their cards in and say,
Let me
it's
ask you a
too much.
question then. Do you guys think that if they are
Hang
holding
on, Pixel
back
Bit
due
G,
to
you just
the
say we're making
FTC
stuff up as we go? Is that what you just said, sir?
If
Elaborate.
you are, no, but if you guys are saying, and you really think that it's because of the FTC and that's why they held back during this show, then wouldn't it be true that they would continue to hold back until August, till this is all
No,
over?
no, it's not the FTC.
No.
It's all of them. And,
No,
and
no,
the,
I know,
the
I know,
next
I
big
know,
ones
but-
are
but-
EU and CMA.
So they can't
I-
show anything for a while.
I think
I
the
would
Game
say-
Awards.
March.
I think
So
the
you're
Game
saying
Awards
they're
is
not
a
going to
big
show
show,
anything
though.
for a
They
while?
have to. They have to show. Listen,
Exactly.
I
So
don't feel-
But
that's
I
what I
don't-
don't get.
the Game Awards, I think it's just bad timing. It's a big show. There's no other.
So is
there's
increasing your games to $70 around this time as well.
Yeah.
But
would
Fonz,
be
that
like
was
that.
also done for them too, because there's
Yeah.
absolutely zero reason to bring that announcement out when you don't have to game an actual game to actually go with it, right? You
Yeah.
would make that announcement saying, "I'm releasing this game. This is going to be the cost. We're doing this because," right? They had nothing.
See,
They just
now
decided
that's
to, out of
Hardy's opinion.
nowhere.
But
Out of
I don't
nowhere,
agree with
let's
that one
make it
either,
$70.
because again, that's what Microsoft do is they drop shit like that in a period where hey, not much going on in general. People aren't even on fucking line like they used to be. But yeah, they drop that kind of shit beforehand, and then
No.
obviously the storm is over. There wasn't really a storm because we all expected
Somebody
it.
in the chat was saying that no, it's because the FTC already made their choice. No. It's still in litigation, and it's going to be this way for
Yeah,
a
it's
while. And
Listen.
so they haven't made up their minds at all whether it's done or not. So what from this point forward, what you're telling me is they can't really show stuff
They will
if
be
they're really
reserved.
hiding it from the FTC.
Personally,
Makes no
personally,
sense.
personally, I don't think they're being objective. I think they're playing politics here. I think it's pretty clear that they just want to play politics and they want to say, hey, we're doing our job. We're making sure that these big companies, yada yada yada. It's all political because they don't have a leg to stand on. Number one, you got Sony, which is the number one video game company in this space, complaining about things that they do the most of. They have the most exclusives. You know, Final Fantasy is going to be exclusive for 6 months on their platform.
True.
They have the most exclusives. The practices that they're complaining about, they're the highest offender of it. And I think this is really transparent. So I kind of hope it does go to court because they're going to lose badly. Number two, the FTC. Why are you going so hard in the paint against Microsoft, defending a company that's not even from your fucking country? What the fuck is that all about?
Damn.
That makes no sense to me. The European Commission says that the FTC, you're incorrect. Microsoft did not say that. Yada yada yada. And once again, like I said, Sony is the biggest fucking offender of this shit. So personally, I kind of want it to go to court. I know it sucks because it's going to drag the deal on, but they will definitely lose in court. And another reason why I want to go to court, all this shit that Microsoft promised them, once it goes to court, they can take all that shit off the table once they win because Sony rejected the deal. They gave them a pretty sweet deal.
True.
10 years, you can have it on your platform. You can put it in your subscription service.
You can do whatever you want with it.
If you think our subscription service is going to take away from your platform, they made all the concessions that they needed to make, and Sony is just being a fucking bitch about it. So honestly, to tell you, I would take the gloves off, and I would just go to war. Fuck these guys. These guys are number one, and they're complaining. Like,
what the fuck? You gotta understand, they care
not
about
even
the
number
gamer,
three.
okay? They're doing all this for the gamer, D-Batch. Sony are the best.
So number one, your first thing is that Sony is nowhere near the company that Microsoft is. So that doesn't fucking matter if they're number
doesn't
one.
matter in the gaming.
It's about tech.
Space.
It's not just gaming. That's not why they're
By the
suing.
way, since you guys are like muddy up the airwaves here,
Hold on a second.
let D-Batch go, and then we'll let Zalker go, and then we'll let D-Batch go.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we're talking about the console space. They're not fucking complaining about Microsoft and Windows and Microsoft and their fucking phones and their controllers. They're complaining about Microsoft in the video game space. So it doesn't fucking matter what Microsoft does outside the video game space.
They also are complaining about the cloud.
It's about the video game space and what they're alleging Microsoft will do. They do it the most. So what they're saying, their argument is invalid.
It's not just about that. It's also about the cloud. It's not just one company outside the country. Apple is complaining about it. So is Google, because Phil Spencer went on the news and said, we might create our own fucking store. This isn't just one company going at them. This is multiple companies, multiple trillion-dollar companies, including in the U.S., that are complaining about this and how big Microsoft is.
Bitches, that's why.
And you see Google just fucking failed miserably with Stadia. So now it's like, well, you're going to get a corner on the cloud market completely. Nobody else is doing it. Not one person is close to even doing it. Amazon's complaining about it. This is not just fucking Sony. It's everybody coming at them.
He's talking about the console stuff.
I know he's talking about the console stuff, but that's not like going to court. Like, you don't want to fucking go to court, dude. You don't want to go to court.
All this stuff that you're saying is fine and dandy, but it has nothing to do with this. It has nothing to do with Google. Could hate them all they want. They can be pissed off about the cloud.
Isn't this about antitrust?
It's got nothing to do with Sony. And I know it's not great to go to court. You always want to mediate things and try not to get to court because it's a little bit unknown what could happen in court. But I'm just saying from the evidence that's put in front of us, their argument is flawed. It's like It's like I'm a known bank robber. I'm a known bank robber. I'm a convicted fucking bank robber, and I'm complaining to the police to go arrest my neighbor because he's robbing more banks than me. Like, it's just fucking ridiculous.
I just gotta say,
big shout out to MacBound real quick. He says they can show games they've already shown, just nothing new. That's not true either, sir. But a big shout out to you, man. They just, hey, sometimes they fuck up, and ultimately time will tell. There, I guess. And
I just have an apology to make, and I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Last week I was like, listen, the end of the talks are going to be over. This is finally over. We're coming to an end. We're not even close.
It's all your fault, Tim.
I totally jinxed it, and you know what? I suck.
You didn't have your toes crossed when you said it, Tim.
I know.
I thought it was pretty interesting.
Jinxed it.
Did anybody bring up what Gabe Newell said about it? That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, Gabe Newell, basically the guy that, the demigod, aka Steam.
Your
Steam
demigod.
Just basically said that, like, we don't expect a company that buys another company to have to put stuff on our platform. If they
Yeah.
want to put it on, we'll be there. If they don't want to put it on, we'll be fine. Like
Exactly.
Call of Duty wasn't there.
He also went further and said that Phil Spencer and the rest of the gang there at Microsoft has always followed through with what they've told them that they were going to do, and they trust their intentions. That's the biggest part of this. They trust their intentions,
and to the point that they don't need to sign that contract because they trust what Microsoft is going to do.
Exactly.
Again, like I said,
It was
they
big.
shouldn't be
That was
having
pretty
to
big.
give anything to do this stuff. They're paying $70 billion to do it, and it's up to them to make sure that stuff flourishes afterwards. But yeah, they shouldn't have to give nobody shit. Again, there were some things with this deal because again, I think we kind of just jumped into it without really leading with what obviously happened. They were being sued now over this deal. So at the very least, this is a long delay. Like they said, trial wasn't going to start till August. You said of 2023.
Maybe. I mean, that's what the
So
said.
that's projected, right? So at the very least, a minimum of another year, and who knows how long like that could go. So it's going to
go for a very long time, and if we don't know what the CMA and the EU are doing yet, they're waiting on their decision. That's probably going to happen in the beginning of the year, and who knows if the EU and the CMA sue also, Microsoft might just be like, "Fuck this," and walk away.
Here's your $2 billion, that because we failed at getting it. And again, there's a lot of people speaking up for the deal, right? And that goes along with Microsoft. I think the day before this announcement came out, they were being sued for this. They pledged a 10-year deal to Nintendo, right? They pledged the game to everybody except for Sony for 10 years.
No, they did for Sony.
No,
Sony just never
They
answered.
did.
They
did
it
Sony too.
suspensively.
I mean, they did it publicly? They came out and did it
even
publicly?
went-
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they went public.
So I didn't see that.
They even went further.
But I did see the tweets for Nintendo and who else was it?
Nintendo Steam, and then they literally said once Sony wants to talk to us more than the regulators, then we could talk about this 10. They literally said that. They literally
They even went a step further, and they actually presented a consent decree, legal binding about Call of Duty to FTC, and FTC basically shut the door on them. So remember we talked about an emergency meeting or Brad Smith meeting with them?
Yeah.
He did try to meet them, but they said no. They basically wanted the press release. Looks like
Politics.
that's what it
Fucking
all comes
And
down
to
to.
people that
Yeah,
don't know
it's the
what that
icon.
is, though, Tim, consent decree. Quickly.
Consent decree is basically legally binding yourself to basically whatever you're putting forth, which would be in this case Call of Duty multi-plat to Sony.
Basically,
there's
like willing to have it all notarized in the best possible airtight way.
to legally bind you to do something, so you could the deal could go through, which
Sounds
is a
like
pretty
a commitment.
a big commitment.
You're
But
so stupid.
they wouldn't even listen to that. So that just tells you right there why in the future we shouldn't even give this that much more playtime, because in the end it just comes down to politics. Does it really?
Yeah.
Is it going to be coming down to what the real truth is, or this and that?
Mhm.
It's just going to come down to politics, and it's just up in the air now. And for myself, I'm just taking the tack that I'm no longer going to say it's going to go through. I'm no longer going to really try to think about it. I'm just going to wait and see, and it might be a year. And if they just let it go and they just drop it, I'm not going to be devastated.
Yeah.
At this point, you really.
I'll say
'Cause you were pretty excited for it and confident, pretty confident anyway last week. And again, like you were right, the European Commission did condemn the FCC for that. The Communication Workers of America came out and condemned them for that. There's, I'm sure there are other factors. Maybe they get to benefit from that. But again, there's a lot of big players that don't agree with this at all. Let us know if you agree, by the way, in the chat. We do have quite a few of you here watching. Hit the like button. Maybe tell a buddy too we're live. We do appreciate it. We're talking about the fucking FTC. Unfortunately, Hargeet, go ahead.
Yeah, so like I saw this coming, right? I like sometime in July, August when LenaCon, like they finally had, it was 2-2. They had 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans. They finally got their third, and when the first thing she did was sue Meta for blocking within acquisition, right? And I'm like, okay, I know that they're gonna block ABK. It's just the way it is. She's doing things on activism instead of following the law, right? So I just assumed she was going to, and lo and behold, that's what she did. It is politics. It's totally politics. Everything she's blocked, she's failed, right? She's lost all of her attempts. But she doesn't care. The point of her doing this is to set a precedent. If one of them passes, she gets to set the precedent that you can do this. Right? Right now the judges are saying, "What are you talking about? This is baloney," and let it go through. Right? But we'll see what happens. But this is exactly why this is happening. Now, the other cool part, like, so, the concessions and all that stuff from the legal perspective for FTC, you're right, they could go through court and not have any, but remember, there's still the CMA, there's still the European Commission, and all those concessions are being done for not just the FTC, but they're being done for the other countries, and so they will potentially still do those for the other approvals to happen. As far as like the document that the FTC put out, very much like the CMA, it's very Sony. It's everything Sony has been complaining about. Like the biggest subscription for gaming. Do we know what that is? It's not Game Pass. It is trounced by Apple. Apple's what's the thing called?
Play or
Apple
Apple Game
Arcade?
Store.
Apple Arcade. Apple Arcade.
Arcade has over 100 million subscribers.
You fools.
So it is substantially higher in a shorter period of time, right? And it's not even mentioned in any of the documents. Why? Because Sony doesn't give a shit about them, right? They're not looking at them as competition. Everything that's been written up to now has been whatever Sony has fed these folks, but reality has to at some point come out. Now, one of the cool things that happened, CMA had an open inquiry, and people were able to put in whatever they wanted. The CMA is actually going through all that, and they posted one of those, one of the responses they got back, and it's very much pro the deal. It's very interesting that the only one they've posted so far is that one. It tells you kind of where their head's at. I think they're looking for those concessions, and they will go through. The EC does not seem to be that opposed to it either. They had that kerfuffle with one of their people putting out that tweet, making the games available on my PlayStation.
Yeah.
Right, but they didn't say we're going to stop the deal. They just want to make sure the games come to their PlayStation, which just means a concession, which is fine.
I think all these people should own a part of Sony after all this is done, because they are the reason
right?
that Sony are getting all this extra money over time and all this other stuff.
So I'm more confident that those will go through with those concessions. The FTC thing, unfortunately, it literally is just politics. For some reason, we have this like activist ideology right now, and that's what's happening. It will likely be overturned by the courts. We will see, but that could take time.
That's good insight, Hargeet, and I'm glad you mentioned some of that stuff, especially. It very much seems like politics to me. And again, I like to try to avoid all that in the show, but I do want to give a shout out to Dub Mobile. He says, and he's a longtime listener, he says, without all of the BS, with all the BS Sony has done over the years, he's just kind of shocked that this is even a thing. It's just his opinion. But yeah, big shout out to Dub Mobile.
I just want to add, if this deal doesn't go through, it's not going to be good for Sony. I think the outcomes is going to be bad for Sony, left or right. If this deal doesn't go through, I think they're going to lose future marketing rights with Call of Duty.
I think that's already done, D, right? There's no way Activision goes to Sony now.
Yeah, and I think other companies are going to frown upon what they did. I think we could see a situation where Microsoft, gets Call of Duty in Game Pass or something. It's just not going to end well for Sony. At this point, I really see Sony as a bunch of I don't want to swear, man. They're just a bunch of whining.
Now you don't want to swear?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to give too much energy to this, because like they're just dicks. They're just dicks. They don't care about gamers. They're not doing it for gamers. All the shit that they say they're doing it for, the reasons that they say they're doing for, it's false. It's just they want to be able to maintain their status of having the marketing rights for this, having the perks for this game, and having that extra revenue that they get. Microsoft is not going to take away all of that extra revenue, because they're still going to have it on their platform. Microsoft went the extra mile, said, hey, you can throw it in fucking PS Plus. We don't care. Do what you want with it. 10-year commitment. Everything is good. And them not accepting this deal, I think proves that it's not about the things that they say it is, because Microsoft made all the concessions that they could make.
Yeah. They own Call of Duty now. No. Yeah. Again, I don't think they should have to give a fucking inch. So I still feel that way.
They wanted to avoid court, so they wanted to play nice. They wanted to try to get this deal through as quickly and hassle-free as possible. Sony's not allowing that, so now they got to fight. And I know it's a long road ahead, and I know things are uncertain, but if you really take a look at it and take out your biases and you be objective and you look at the evidence and the argument that Sony is presenting, it is flawed and it can be easily proved by the actions of the company itself.
Y9 Power, I'm ODing from the high quality salt. Yeah, take it easy. You know your blood pressure's high, sir. So if you want to catch us up on these chats, sir, and then we'll move forward. But again, shout out to everyone joining us. It's no, we're not excited that we'll have to. We're gonna try to mention this shit less from now on because the major building blocks of this topic are already here, and it'll take a while to put all these little pieces together. So I'm sure we'll have a little update every week or maybe every other week, but it won't take this much time of the show.
Yeah, so we got Highlander 001. He says shareholders are not gamers. They may vote to abandon the acquisition. They are not gamers, and with a resistance, they may vote to abandon it. Maybe. We got Silent Cypher. He says Starfield, November 2023. I think it's November. We got Mad Will. He says 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate. He put a code out there. Appreciate you, Mad Will
going mad.
We got Fire Z71 currently playing Resident Evil Village and downloading Witcher Next Gen update. Got a backlog from hell, but going to have a jump into High on Life while it's on Game Pass. Nice, man. Mad Will dropping another 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate. Appreciate you. We got John Cubillo. He says, my favorite part about the Game Awards was watching the ponies lose their mind when ER won Game of the Year, aka Elden Ring.
Oh, shit.
We got Bone Slave replaced, Judas, Danny Glover game, and Hades 2 are fire. I can't wait for Hades 2. The first Hades is fucking awesome. Like one of my favorite games of the year when it came out.
Bro, this pain is not gonna play anything else when that comes out, 100%.
That's fine with me. We got Risk It for the Biscuit. He says, it's not that big of a deal for fuck's sake. There's definitely more to this. I don't think it's a show. I think after 2021, they were like F Jeff Keighley. That's what Risk It's talking about. He's talking about the show not being that big, even though it has 90 million viewers. Keep going, Risk
Shout out to Risk It, though. He's allowed to think that.
We got Qlet. He just didn't say anything. Give $25. Appreciate you. We got Bit Fernaldi. He says, I hope Xbox goes to court and makes the regulators look straight foolish. Their arguments are so stupid. They sound so dumb, clueless, and biased.
Yeah.
Damn, Biff.
They sound dumb
lawyer
as fuck. That's for sure.
We got Fire Z71 again. He says Aloy is no Aloy's Alloy. Aloy is no Laura Croft. Preach, Fonz. All right. We got an Outbreak podcast, Starfield, March 23, 23, maybe 23, 23.
23.
A lot of 23s. We got Risk It. E3 in total viewership is 60 million, not 5 million. That was 2019.
Oh, MacBound. Shout out to MacBound. I wasn't blasting you, man. I was just I was multitasking while just replying to your comment. MacBound's a good guy.
We got Bean Dip, Nip Slip. Let's force Xbox to release these games by June, even if they are broken, or I'm gonna be pissed and throw a fit like a baby. Zalker the fraud. That's not what I said, dumb fuck. What I'm saying is that they said they were gonna bring out these games in the next 12 months. So I'm holding them to their word. If they don't,
why you gotta call someone dumb fuck like that?
Because he's putting words in my mouth and he sounds like a dumb fuck.
He puts other things there too. You know, it's not a big deal.
Little tiny things, probably, like
shit.
you little bitch.
You flossed.
We got KY Bob, member for 37 months. He says regulators fined Microsoft in 2005 for shipping Windows Media Player with Windows and having it set to default. Fined for options. Shake my head. RDX kicks ass.
Jeez.
Yeah. We got Risky for the Biscuit. There's a fucking lot. We got Risky for the Biscuit again. He says, which video game companies aren't backing this? Every single company is behind it, and the unions. Only PlayStation is coming at them. No, Google went at them, and so did Apple. A lot of people were like, we don't know, but it could lead to this. Like, it was very, dude, everybody's scummy toward each other. Like, it's fucking billions of dollars. We got Josh Schrank. He says, are you guys excited you get to talk about this lawsuit, like acquisition for 2 years, or are you guys fed up from them not delivering games to talk about? Savage.
Yeah, we've already talked about that. Is his name Josh? Josh. We've already talked about that. And also, no, we're not looking forward to having to talk about this shit for any. Nope. That's why I prefaced this all with little building blocks we'll talk about. But the major things have happened, and shit got sued, and now shit's held up, and fuck, so
yeah. We got two more. So Highlander, I agree with this. He says if the deal is denied, Activision will still take money from Sony. They will just charge more. Fact. Everybody says they're not going to work with them on like deals or marketing. They don't give a fuck, man. All they care about is money.
It's all about money.
Yeah, we got Shoguns. He says cheers. Member for 38 months.
Hey, shout out to Dark CMF, Splendiferous. Shout out to you, buddy, as well as so many others in the chat. And again, it's just one of those things we're going to give or take as things happen. It's unfortunate that it's held up. It's unfortunate that we don't know how Microsoft will actually react and show games, and you know, maybe they'll just say fuck it. We've been sued for it. We're going to go to court, and we're just going to go back to business as usual. And maybe they won't hold things of any kind, and there will be no excuse for anyone to say so. But ultimately, we just don't know, which sucks. But I do know they got to be talking about these games soon, because they do have games coming out. Remember that whole next 12 months thing? Literally nothing from there came out in the first 6 months of that. So you got to have minimum 2 of those games come out. I expect Starfield to come out in the back half of 23, but who knows? You know, do you think they're going to launch 3 games like that in the first half and actually do it, Fonz?
Why the fuck not?
Because things are ready when they're ready, I guess.
I mean, like, why not?
I would hope they do. I look. I posed the question on Twitter today, and I was like, "Hey, let's gather some." And I wasn't even being negative really about it. I was like, I want to know what big games they got coming. What do you guys think? And people are putting some ideas out there. And I said Starfield, Redfall, and Forza Motorsport. I think those will be out next year. I'm pretty confident in those 3. Aside from that, though, as far as big AAA games go, I don't see any others coming next year, but I feel like they should have at least another one in there.
Well, they've announced Minecraft Legends, right? That is coming.
But that's not a big AAA game. So, and honestly, it's an RTS, and those typically don't do well. They typically don't do well.
You don't even make us read those numbers for those games, and they typically don't come to console, and that's the problem.
Yeah, but no, I'm just saying AAA. When it comes to AAA, first party, what are we getting?
Well, as of right now, Redfall, Starfield,
and is Redfall considered AAA?
Oh my God, Fonz, don't just stop.
Come on, Fonz.
Jesus Christ.
Come on.
I mean, let's be honest. Starfield definitely is. Forza definitely is.
Did you just ask if fucking Redfall is AAA? Did you really just ask that, Mister? I beat Gotham Knights after trashing it for 2 months.
Oh shit!
Is Redfall AAA?
Yes, it is. I think that's.
It's the biggest game that they've ever made. Arcane.
I feel like Fonz is smiling.
He's like, I don't like you. I'm just trolling in the background being fucked.
But no. I added that too because I'm letting that in.
It's not a blockbuster. It's not a blockbuster.
I see those 3 as being the big AAA games that they got next year. But I just wanted, at least one more, so they have one every quarter.
I think you might be in luck because I believe if the ABK deal, and I hate bringing this up again, if it went through, they would have had Call of Duty, and they were going to clear the.
Well, there's no Call of Duty next year.
No Call of Duty next year.
So here it is. There is from what I heard a Plan B, and I do think that there is a holiday game that they could slate in there. And that could be.
Is the Plan B to just stay quiet and say nothing?
No, well, who knows? But I do think Hellblade.
So that seems like it's Plan A, B, C, and D for them.
Dude. I do think Hellblade 2 is possible.
You see, somebody said that, and I was like, really? And I was thinking about it, and they could be right, but somebody else also said Fable, and I was like, there's no way in hell Fable is ready next year. But here's the thing about Fable, though, because the guy was like, no, it's got to be, because that's a 6-year dev cycle. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Some games take 8 years.
It is what it is. It's not going to be
a lot of that's building all the engine out to support the game and
all
that stuff, too.
But the amount of people that I freaking just trolled right now in the chat talking about Redfall and AAA, so many people were so upset. They're like, get him off, vote him off the island. Look. I put it up there because
I laughed.
It's one of their bigger games next year.
It's not a huge.
Tim, it's the biggest AAA ever. What are you talking about? We got to move forward.
What's not a huge AAA game?
He's talking about
Redfall.
But that's if Hellblade 2. No, but what he's saying though, if Hellblade 2,
it's not like Starfield.
What if they did surprise us with Hellblade 2 in the fall or holiday? I should say.
Very
That'd be cool.
Can we just time out, Tim?
That'd be cool.
I know you're saying it's AAA, but it's not a lot of games are not like Starfield, bro. Most games are not like Starfield.
That's true.
But I don't think it's on the level of God of War. Put
No.
it that way.
Which one? Redfall?
Yeah, I like what,
It's
what
not
I'm
trying
saying.
to be, though.
It's not trying to be like this
But it's
comparison is
listen.
dumb.
I said listen. There's no comparison.
You're toxic,
I
Tim.
said it's AAA. It's a AAA. It's in
AAA,
the.
it
He's
is.
saying it's just not a big blockbuster like some other
Right.
games are. Yeah, and he's right about that
those
because we
stores
don't
don't
know
even
yet.
exist.
We
It's a
we
new
really
IP.
don't know if this game is going to be any good, to be honest. But
We don't know if
we're hoping.
Starfield's gonna be good. Look at
Exactly.
It's
Cyberpunk.
gonna be good.
Yeah. I mean, again,
I think
this is all like
Starfield,
common
I
sense
think I already
logic
know.
that we're just kind of not, we're forgetting to use common sense here.
I mean, remember Back for
I
Blood?
blame
People were
Microsoft.
excited for that too.
I'm playing Redfall on my Steam Deck because it's not AAA confirmed.
And
I'm
again,
done. I
like
don't care
what
no more.
what determines what is AAA? And a lot of people play it, so it is. And it's like
Back for
okay,
bed.
Yeah, no, back for bed is the
Was
term
that
AAA is, it needs to
AAA?
go away because it's too variable and depends on how people look at games and what they need from games.
Well,
But
to even register a game.
Yeah, I
those
think
people
what
don't
Tim is
understand.
saying is even better though. Blockbuster, big blockbuster game. Like
maybe that word should
what's
die.
going to
just like the
generate
stores.
hype? What's really going to generate hype? And I think Redfall does fall under that category. It generates a lot of hype. People are hyped for it. So,
So you want to play some co-op with us, huh?
but I will argue that Minecraft Legends doesn't really have a lot of hype behind it because
Minecraft
everybody who
Legends
brings
will-
it up, I've asked them on Twitter. Everybody who brought it up, I'm like, "Are you excited?" Well, no, but I know it's Minecraft's big, so I'm just putting it out there. Okay, but you're not excited, and yet
Well,
you're putting
listen,
it out there.
But if
who
you ask somebody
knows-
who was excited, though, all that logic flips on
Like
its
a
head.
bunch of toddlers, and yeah.
Wonka is a toddler.
Anyway, more people will play Minecraft than any game probably this year. So, again,
Oh, yeah.
that's why it's
Lots
not
of
about
kids
how many
play it.
people play it or any of that shit. It's all down to who, each person. We do gotta move forward though, Fonz, and again, we go from
Oh, darn.
we go from Xbox getting sued to them removing the MVP program over in favor of the ambassadors program, which is just like basically do all the shit for free for us. And then we've also got COD. They're dropping season 1 Reloaded. It's a new map. They've got this.
But
comes out-
is it AAA? Let's talk about. No, I'm just kidding.
It's
You're
AAA.
such a fuck.
It's AAA-ish, and it launches December 14th. It's got new operators and even a raid, Fonz. You love raids.
Yeah, no,
that
I
coming
did.
to
I do
Xbox?
like some raids. Raids are cool. Raids were cool in WoW.
It's
Raids
exclusive to PlayStation because of this whole
raids
thing.
were cool in freaking Destiny, but COD, I don't know, man. What kind of raids are going to be in COD?
Did you know that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is the best-selling game of 2023 or 2022 and 2023? Probably. Who knows?
Come on, bro. It always is.
It just passed Elden Ring, actually.
Yes,
I think
it just
it
did.
lit-
Said,
like
"Fuck
that's
you,
how much
Elden Ring," as it flew
Elden,
by.
Elden Ring dominated. And right now, if you play like those games with battle passes, like a lot of games just started like their season stuff. Like I know Halo has gotten in something in there, and it's people are actually enjoying it. The Forge pretty sick. Fortnite dropped their new
Dude.
season, which is fucking insane. Call of Duty.
Halo Infinite. I don't know if you guys seen, but somebody made like Rainbow Road for Mario Kart in Halo Infinite in the Forge.
Yep.
Holy crap, did that
There's
thing look
lots
And
amazing.
they did that in like a week, and 343 can't
Yep,
make 2 maps.
literally.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just
man.
saying, look, Forge could be the real game changer for Halo Infinite. I'm telling you. That people are creating some amazing freaking things. Hargeet, you've seen this stuff.
Oh, I've played
Freaking
it. There's so many awesome modes that are in there. There's one where you're literally playing Spider-Man. You can't touch the ground. You have to swing around with the grapple and shoot while you're in the air and keep grappling.
That's
There's
hilarious.
there's one where you are in a little what is it, like a hole in the ground, in normal warfare where you have a trench. So you're all in a hole in the ground. You cannot escape that one. But as you get up, you have a sniper rifle, and you just have to snipe everybody around you. It's very
Damn.
fun. It's very fun. And there's so many weird modes like this. There's another one where you are in 2 dimensions, and you can only see people in the dimension they're in, and you can switch dimensions and not be shot. You can switch dimensions and have different bridges. And
The
like, whole
medium
map
Halo
is-
Infinite style.
It's so cool.
I heard about that.
There's so many things going on. It's
That's crazy.
very
And they're
fun.
doing all this in just a couple
Yeah,
weeks.
literally
Short
in like a
time,
couple
yeah.
of weeks, we've had all this stuff come up. There's so many like Star Wars maps. There's so many like Mario Kart. There's so many things going on. It's
So
crazy.
tell me what's happening over there. What the fuck is going on, Hargeet?
I think 343 needs to hire some of these people making this stuff.
They do.
Or just
That's how
download
they
their
make
own
all these
Forge and
things,
fucking
right?
make a map real quick. I don't know, but
The
again,
funny thing is like what Hargeet said is they actually do hire these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the people, if you know this, like Unreal or Epic does the same thing. They
Oh,
have people
Bethesda,
creating
too.
it. Yeah, Bethesda too. They hire people that make mods and all that.
Yep,
And Unreal
yep.
does the same thing. Fortnite has like entire communities building community games with like worlds and shit like that, where people are using the Unreal Engine doing it. They're using their creator tool, but then they can get them like to actually use it, become programmers or become game developers. It's insane, dude. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Hmm.
I just saw that Rainbow Road Forge thing, and it just blew my mind. I was like, "Why you get? How are people making this stuff so?"
But is it
quickly?
AAA though?
Yeah, but is it AAA? That's the question to ask. You know,
But is
where's
it
the? You know what?
AAA?
The question really is, where is that ray tracing? You know, that's what we need.
It's now
That's
just
what
ray
makes it
trace clouds.
AAA.
That's it. So
Yeah,
it's been
Oh,
reduced.
that's what it is.
Look up. It'll be 120 ray tracing.
Even
Fuck
more.
you.
Hey, shout out to Timmy in the chat. Papa Smurf. We got again Mr. Bushido. Big shout out to you. Toolman55, as well as so many others. We do got to move forward though. Again, shout out to over 1,100 people watching. Hit the like button. Tell a buddy to. I got to say that 40 times each show, or I'll get hit in the head with a rock. There's some other little tidbits here, including a new PS. Some sources are suggesting that Sony might release a new PS5 model with a detachable umbilical cord style disk drive. That's kind of hot.
We heard about that rumor for a while. So there's got to be some fire to this smoke here,
There might
because
be.
we've heard about this for months.
And again, I've talked about the same idea for a Series S, because there's plenty of people that have the console. You can still download the Blu-ray app on it. You just can't fucking watch one on it.
So basically, they just want you to buy the disk drive if you want that for $100.
That's going to be
That's
one of the
probably
ways
what
they're going to cut costs, because they just now started really kind of making money on the damn thing, at least in any real substantial way.
Yeah. Well, they didn't make enough digital consoles. I wanted one.
That's
and
because they
I
wanted to
couldn't
be able to
find
say
one.
they were $3.99 when really they were only selling a $500 one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They only had 7 of those consoles. I heard 7. in a while.
Also, Company of Heroes 3 is actually
Fuck
coming.
yeah, baby.
It's coming to
What is
no,
that?
don't get too excited, Zalker. It's coming to Xbox.
Oh, fuck
After
yeah.
the
I know
PC
it's
release.
Company
I
of
saw
Heroes.
that.
What
Company
is
of
it?
Heroes is a World War II RTS. Company of Heroes 1 and 2
Oh,
are some of
fuck.
the
Fonz
best
don't like those,
RTSs
so they don't
out
count.
there.
RTSs. Yeah.
But
Fonz
is
don't
it
like those thinking
AAA?
games.
Fonz don't like games. We've established this.
Hey, Fonz, you
We
will like Star Wars
established
Jedi Fallen Survivor, which has an official release date now of March 16th.
Oh, dude, that thing looks fire,
Can I-
man.
can I
Because
just
the
say that-
first game was so good. By the way, Ashtray, you got to play that game.
Yeah, Ashtray. You little
Jedi.
fuck. Yeah,
Fallen
Shut
Order.
the
Play-
Ashtray.
Jedi Fallen Order is
Play
amazing,
it.
but Company
So
Heroes might be one of those games that drops on Game Pass because everybody remembers this is made by Sega, and Sarah Bond and all them signed that deal with Sega.
Such a good deal.
So I hope that happens because God, I love that game.
Diablo
let's hope
4.
and 3 looks good.
Diablo 4 had some news recently, right? Or was that?
Yeah, it talked about the release date. They dropped their editions,
Oh,
the
that-
special editions, and all that. So
The trailer
I think it's
looks
coming
sick,
in
dude.
June. The trailer looks fucking insane. And a developer spoke out and said that it's probably not going to reach its release date unless they have extensive crunch. So
Time to
who knows what
to the
happens?
gym.
And Bobby Kotick's going to be like, "Bitch, you ain't known by Microsoft yet. Get your ass in crunch.
Yeah, bitch,
So-
yeah.
Get your ass
Get in
in
there.
crunch.
Get your ass in crunch."
Hey,
So,
Hogwarts,
yeah.
Hogwarts Legacy also launches February 10th. For those that didn't know, I just want to bring that up. And there's been
By the way, the last gen games for that, the ones that are in Xbox One and PS4, have been delayed till further notice for Hogwarts.
Slash probably not going to
And
come out
Switch.
if the game does pretty damn well for the PS4 and X1.
It'll come out. It'll just be at like fucking 480p.
Why bother? I guess just because of the install base.
Maybe.
The install base, and they probably made game like they probably gotten far enough where they're like, we need to release it. We put too much
Yeah,
money.
I
in.
mean it's coming on Switch as well, so I guess.
Yeah, and that one got delayed too. Switch and that one got delayed.
Unreal Engine
Yeah.
5 runs on Switch. That's so weird. And then also Grounded. Over 15 million players
You're grounded.
are grounded. And there's been a new update for Grounded. I wish Colt was here. It was his game of the generation or whatever he said on Twitter. And we
Yep,
could ask
pretty
him
much.
what the update had in it. I'm sure one of you guys in the chat knows. I don't play Grounded. At least currently.
It just, I mean, I know a lot of people that play it. I want to get into it with some friends, and because I played it like for 5 seconds.
It's a quality
I,
game,
uh,
Zelker.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks good, but I
Decent.
I'll get into it and see what's up, and I don't know. Cool, 50 million players. Congrats, Muscle Tough. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
What the fuck else?
I mean, every other.
You
time
ain't
they
no
bring up-
Sea of Thieves, bitch. It's 30 mil. I knew exactly where you were going. I preempted it. I waited
Nope.
for you. You bitch, you're
I
like a
wasn't
little
gonna go that
circus
way.
dog.
You didn't catch him.
I
You
wasn't
didn't
gonna
catch
go
him
that way.
slipping yet.
But yeah, Sea Thief sucks. Hey,
Fuck you, bitch! I knew it.
so yeah, you got some of that stuff going on, and you know, there's grounded. I guess since it was in preview for so long, I don't know, something about game preview. It's my mistake for playing it before, but I do plan on jumping back into it as an actual release product now. With but you know, it's still got some
But
bugs.
is it
though.
AAA? But is it AAA? Like Fonz,
But
cover
is
your
it
ears. It's not
AAA?
AAA.
Now
It's
every
not
game's
AAA,
got
Fonz.
bugs. Don't get me wrong, but these bugs you kill in this game, and they're pretty terrifying. Have you turned on the fugly slider for the spiders? I mean, you just can't. They're horrifying, even as marshmallows. We're gonna go ahead and move forward.
What the fuck?
Shut the fuck up.
Even has mushrooms.
They turn into marshmallows when you get rid of the spiders.
Make you into a s'more, bitch.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Get fucked. Hey, Fable. There's been some development problems, according to Jez Corden of NASCAR.
Of NASCAR racing.
Shout out to Jez, man. He's an awesome guy. He is saying that Microsoft are having some development problems with games like Fable and stuff like that. Again, I see this as the same thing with State of Decay. Sometimes you gotta figure out what the fuck's gonna be in your game, what you're able to ship with what resources you're gonna put into it in time. And they've had a lot of time with this one, but it is, again, a new team. They got to build out the engine to support the game. The tools are going to be, of course, you know, every engine has custom tools if you're doing some pretty interesting things in the game. So I'm sure they've got a lot of time and stuff invested in that. But when it comes to the problems, Tim Dog, what are you talking about? Load times over 30 seconds or what? What's the fucking problem? Tim Dog. Timmy.
I heard that it's related to the engine that they've chosen. They wanted to go in-house, and as you guys know, going in-house had a ton of problems with Halo, and they don't want a repeat of that. So there's that's kind of being discussed. Some people want it to be moved to the Unreal 5. Supposedly, Halo Infinite is going to be moved to the Halo 5, and it's more engine-related type of thing, and forecasting or dealing with something that you either can master in development, or if you're going to have problems. So that's all I heard. And is it true? It's
I mean, somebody in the chat said it, though.
this-
Like, isn't that kind of like every game right now? Like, I mean, every game right now is having weird development issues and quirks.
right, but they're using their in-home engine, so
Yeah.
they're using
Microsoft
the,
is mandating apparently the in-home engine that they're
right.
mandating that they use Forza tech, and that it is great for building an open world racing game, but it's not suited to be built for an RPG
See,
action
now that-
adventure game.
That I
Pretty
just
much.
I don't know if I
Microsoft
just
did
don't
it?
know if I'm look again like everyone
Wow.
if he's saying that, like, I'm sure you heard it from somewhere, but I just don't know if I'm buying that part, because they've done nothing but allow studios to build games and the engines that they want, and they've proven that over time. And as I talked about when we talked about the Forza Tech engine with this, it was hard for me to believe, because again, there are engines far better suited for this type of game than a fucking racing game engine. You know?
Yeah, I think it was more familiarity between the studio, but then it doesn't make sense, because that's what a lot of people were saying, that like, oh, that's so familiar, but they built an entire new studio. These aren't the same people that made
Yeah.
Forza.
Well, some of
It's
them.
it's a different developer.
So you
It's
might
a-
have
sure.
in fighting in there, where the new people kind of not familiar with the engine want the Unreal 5, and the people that have been always with Playground probably want to use it. So, and who knows if it's really true? It's just
I think it is true if Jez is saying something about it. Like,
well, he
Jez
said
is saying
he
something.
heard a little bit about it, but
For him to even
Um,
mention it, like, he's talked, like, listen, Jez has gone on Twitter and been like, developers hate me, and he's like said some some depressing shit. But
Yeah.
like, and I think it's because he hears about stuff like this, and he's kind of torn on reporting it. I don't want to speak for him, but who
No,
knows?
you're
Because
right.
because he's a fan, right? Like, he likes gaming just like everyone else, and so hearing this stuff probably is a little bit like depressing. Kind of seeing how the how the pig is slaughtered in the back before you're baking, like before you're baking.
Right.
Leave the pig
How the
alone.
Like,
sausage
that's-
is made.
Like I'm just saying, like how the sausage is made, so to speak. So it's
But that's his job. That's his job, and
Yeah.
not to make it about Jez, but a shout out to Jez. He's awesome, and
And
you
we
know,
do
he
like
does-
him over here, by the way.
No,
Somebody-
but yeah, we love Jez, but
Who the fuck is we?
or I love Jez.
yeah, Tim Dog loves it. I like it.
I just have to say, he definitely, like you said, he has gotten a lot of shit, and I know people from Xbox have not liked him because he's like reported on things that he's heard, and obviously they were true, and they're like, "What is this guy doing? Screwing up our announcements, screwing up our roadmap, that type of stuff." But that's what he does. That's what you're supposed to tell the people first and foremost what you're hearing, and that's what he does. So
Pixel Pit G says so many of these rumors are BS, but that's what happens when you don't show games. Yeah, I mean, again, I said it before. I think Jez did hear this somewhere. That doesn't mean it's necessarily true. And again, I'm keeping other conversations with everybody in this community in the back of my head when I say this stuff. Like, sometimes this stuff happens, and I'm sure he did preface it with all of that, but I just didn't see the actual quote from him or hear it. So, again, it's just Courtney. He's credible. I don't care what anyone says. He's a good guy. This is something that he heard, and I absolutely believe he did hear it. Based on his track record, it has a pretty decent chance of being, accurate, even though it sounds kind of hit or miss, especially with the being forced to use a racing game engine part. But again, that's just what he heard. So take it for what it is. I think the game's going to come out, and it may surprise a few people. We've already heard the game looks gorgeous, incredible looking game. And I've even talked to somebody that's working on the game. They're excited to show the damn thing. It's just a matter of when they're going to be able to do so. And at this rate,
I hope
that
it is
be?
good looking. I hope it is good looking, because before Halo came out, they were like, "It's gorgeous," and then Craig came out of nowhere. So they better show out, because this
that
is
was
a
something
game
different that they showed. That
I think this is a game that needs to be on a level of something that Xbox doesn't tend to release. Like, I think it needs to be fucking huge, like Starfield level, because it's so hyped up, and it was announced in 2020. Fable is the franchise that people still know to this day, and they need to fucking hit the mark. And if you need a little bit more time, I get it. That's all good. But, this needs to be a massive game that comes out. Like, it needs to be one of their big tentpole RPGs that they bring out. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see it. Obviously, like everyone else, I don't think we see it this next year. I think it's going to be a 2025 release at this point, if we're hearing some development problems. And if some people are like, let's move over to Unreal Engine 5, it's like, that's fucking insane if you're really going to move entire engines in 4 years of development or more. It was they started building the studio in 2017 and started hiring in 2018. So they're about 4 or 5 years in, and if we're hearing development trouble now, that scares me. Same with the State of Decay one. They had multiple years. They've been working on it for 4 years, going on 5. Something needs to be done, and to be honest, I think since you announced these games, they need to be a little bit more transparent of what actually is happening.
Yeah, and that's why if I was in the future, I wouldn't even release this kind of stuff, because again, it leaves the mind. It's up to the mind. Then what's the problem? Is the fucking this shit's fucking not working, or what's going on? Like, it just leaves people to think whatever they want and kind of brainstorm on this negativity that doesn't necessarily need to exist. Because if we heard about every game that had problems or scoping or whatever the fuck you want to call it, we'd hear about every game having this problem.
It's not even just like about that. It's like what the Coalition did was fucking awesome, right? They released a game and they're like, hey, Unreal Engine 5 came out. We need to kind of hone it down, and you're not going to hear from us for a while. Like, that's all they said. And they said, we're going to be working on this. And then they bring out, like, this is what we've been working on. Like, look at this. We helped with the Matrix demo. This is what we're doing. Like, it's almost like doing a goddamn math test. They're showing their work.
So,
like,
yeah, your point is if they showed us some damn gameplay or something, then maybe people wouldn't have to run with none of this.
It's not even just gameplay. Just tell us what you're doing. Like, hey, this is why this is taking a little bit longer. We want to get this right. Just be a little more transparent, even if it is for just the hardcore, geeky people that just love this kind of shit. Like, at least you're getting something out there where people are understanding. Like, that's just me. That's just me. Because you've announced these things 2 years ago.
Imagine Coalition is actually the game that comes out next, because they actually can deliver shit.
I mean, the Coalition is the Coalition, and I would say the Forza team, the Forza Horizon team, are the two best developers that are just getting shit out. And I would say
it's pretty good.
It's really good.
And if Obsidian brings out something else soon, like Avowed in like a year, then they're obviously up there too, because they
the only games that came out this year were Obsidian, Grounded, and Pentiment.
Stop being negative, Hargy. My ears.
They're carrying
it's pretty good. But...
Pentiment just got an update actually. New voices for the little Microsoft reader.
Oh wow!
No, does it run 60 now?
It might have ray tracing. Let me check Pentiment for ray tracing right now.
120 FPS.
Hey, shout out to Dark Sai in the chat, man. Shout out to Silent Cypher. We've got new Cybot. We've got Pixelbit G. We've got Carradine. Big shout out to all you guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Fonz, you got anything to add about Fable before we get the fuck out of here? And again, we're out of topics.
Not really. Fable, again, it's something that somebody brought up today, and I said, no, not seeing that anytime soon. I didn't know about the Jez thing until you guys mentioned it, but yeah, I definitely believe in what Jez is saying. The guy's very credible, good guy, man. So I don't see him just starting a rumor for nothing.
No, he didn't. No one said he started a rumor. So I
No.
definitely
But I don't think he would. Yeah, but I'm just saying that he's not putting something out there just to start something.
What if he said that Fable was amazing and was going to be the most amazing good game in the next 10 years? Would you believe that?
Can I just say that Dave? Did you see? Okay, so I got to shout out to Dave. He just got me to laugh pretty hard. He said Fonz's channel is only AA.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! I'm sorry, Fonz.
Fonz has got a great
It's
channel.
not wrong, is it?
wow.
Is it AAA? No, it's not.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
That got me.
That's a
Sorry.
good. That's a good.
That was good.
That's yeah. But Fonz, Fable, you're hoping for something that kind of raises the bar in at least one way, right? You got to compete with The Witcher fucking 7 years later. No one else has. What are your hopes for Fable besides less fart jokes? He wants more STDs in the game. I know that.
Yeah, you're
Just
such
a solid, game that's actually AAA, not like a lot of these Xbox games that we question whether or not they're AAA. Yeah.
Like Red
Just a solid AAA.
That's just you
Just a
questioning.
blockbuster game. That's what I want. let's stop at the AAA. Blockbuster big game.
So it needs explosions.
I want some cool exploration. That's what I want. I don't want a linear experience. I want some exploration.
But some people think exploration isn't blockbuster. Like they think that's just boring,
filler.
Well, hey,
trash.
teach their own.
Yeah.
You asked what I wanted, and that's what I want.
So you want a big open world map, some cool side
big
missions.
open world game, some cool stuff. Yeah, some cool missions, not just fetch quests.
Yeah.
Some cool stuff to do. Some cool.
We
things
got a
to
game
kill.
for you. It's Horizon Forbidden West. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said cool.
Yeah, a bunch of
not
useless
trash.
dialogue. You want that in there? Because I don't.
Yep.
Something you keep bringing
No,
up with
I'm looking
Horizon
forward
Forbidden
to it.
West is, however, so much talking and all the characters you don't care about. They got stories to tell you, and it reminds me of Mass Effect Andromeda every time you say that.
Ah, yeah. I
Mass
wouldn't
Effect
know.
Andromeda has the same problem.
Yeah. See, there you go. That's why it sucks.
But Zucker, go ahead and catch just one of these chats, man, and then we can do some outros. Again, shout out to over 1,100 of you that joined us tonight. We do appreciate you. Hit the like button on your way out, and of course, tell a buddy or two about the show. Thank you very much.
So we got Jedi Knight Peter. He says Xbox has enough to compete without the ABK deal. In my opinion, 2023 would be awesome with Forza, Minecraft, Starfield, Redfall, and Hellblade.
I agree. It was ZeniMax. They had more than Sony was ready for already. But
Yeah,
more's
so we
better.
got Papa Baco 72. The other games don't matter now that the next gen update for Witcher 3 dropping tomorrow. And yes, Fonz, it's AAA.
Oh
Lol.
shit! Shout out to Papa
Uh,
Baco.
Yeah, we got the Andrew 13. He says detachable PlayStation 5. My favorite King missile song.
Detachable
Must be
penis.
penis.
What a
I
song.
know what I know exactly what he said. I'm not saying it. We got JC50GT says, as a PlayStation superfan, I'm embarrassed by Sony's crying. Got my first Xbox because of Game Pass. Likely liking it more. Sony in trouble. I don't know.
Yeah, we
I
don't
don't
know
think
either.
Sony's
We
in
don't think they're in trouble.
Northbound Views. He says, why wouldn't Microsoft want to use Unreal Engine 5?
Why would they or wouldn't they?
Wouldn't they?
Well, they are using UE5 and I think more games than any other publisher.
Yep.
Now,
they
why
are.
would they tell one team you got to use the racing game engine? That's what that's what I'm saying. That's what
Because
sounds
of-
odd.
weird, right?
Yeah,
But
I
again-
mean, who knows if they told them to do that? But also, you don't want every developer just stuck on UE5. That puts too much.
They can use
power in
whatever
one.
engines they want.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
saying. I agree with you. I'm saying that developers in general, like publishers in general, they want to make in-house. Like Sony has like 2 or 3 in-house engines that they use to make their games, and it's like you don't become dependent and then have to pay, royalties or whatever you have to
Tim
pay.
Sweeney
after a
needs
certain
your
amount.
money for his Lamborghini collection.
Fucking right, he does. That's why they're like, screw that. Why would we pay this guy this
How's
much
Tim
money?
going to get these new Lamborghinis if we don't switch over to UE5? That's what they're
It's all
thinking.
about money. It's all about money, people. It's all about money. Follow the dollar.
Yep. Okay. Hey, again, that's the end of the show. That's our topics. Thanks for joining us. This is High on Life running on Xbox Series X. If you're wondering about the frame drops, that's not on my end. That is the game. But apparently that has been fixed. As of today, I need to see these frame rate tests, because if that's been fixed across the board with just a day one patch, it's pretty incredible, because some of these drops are pretty substantial. But again, I'm enjoying the game. Let me know if you're playing it. And
Would you say it was AAA?
I'd say when it comes to me liking
I'm
it,
just fucking kidding. It doesn't matter. It looks like a goofy little game.
It's quadruple A,
it
Fonz.
might be some fun.
We're taking it up in A. Fuck it.
Quadruple A, right? Yeah, it's quadruple A.
There's more A's, Fonz.
I love it.
You do got to try it, though.
I love it.
It's real zany, stupid humor.
No, you know what? I don't like it, and I never tried it.
Yeah, you like MBG right
Never
there.
played it, never liked it.
Hey, Fonz, tell people what you've been playing and where can people find you, man. We're getting out of here.
Callisto Protocol, and they can find me at Fonz Gaming on that AA channel over there.
Oh,
Check
fuck.
it out. AA.
It's not
baby.
AA.
Thanks, Dave.
He makes great content.
Who said that, by the way? Which one was it? Because that was pretty good.
He's going to hold that against you forever.
Dave? No, I'm going to, okay, block Dave. Okay. He's no longer allowed on my channel. But the rest of you, come join the AA channel experience with Fonz Gaming.
Oh,
God
shit.
damn it.
Callisto, by the way, are you enjoying that more and more, or how are you feeling that right now, a week later?
No, look, it's still the same for me. It's a good game. It's fun. It's not like amazing to me or anything. It's a fun game. It is what it is.
You scared,
about-
ain't you?
No, it's just an okay game. Like I don't get the feeling like I do with some games that I really like, and I think about it, and I'm like, I can't wait to jump back into that. Oh my god, I got to finish that. No, it's not like that. It's just like it's okay.
The Bad Show or Not Life. Yeah, Noob Side. I'll check that out. Hey, we've also got Zalker87, buddy. What have you been playing? Where can people find you, man?
You guys can find me on Zalker87 for YouTube, Zalker87 for Twitter, and I've been playing a shit ton of Fortnite. The new. I played so little. Did I die?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for a second.
you
You're
died.
alive now. Go ahead.
I'm alive.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck happened. No, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite. So I've been the new season came out, doing the dirt bikes, it's fucking fun. I've been playing a lot with Shady. We've been doing all the dailies, weeklies, going through the events. It's a lot of fun, man. Getting W's. I got already 6 crowns, wins, whatever. It's just I don't know, man. I'm having a lot of fun. I never even owned a skin before last week. And I bought the battle pass and just having a blast with it. It's just super cool. I have a Batman skin. I have the Doomslayer skin is fucking awesome. They
Where'd
had
you get the
Marcus
Batman
Phoenix on
skin?
there. So I got it randomly because I was reading a comic. And then they emailed me. I was reading it digitally because that's how I read my comics now. And then they emailed me. They're like, here's a Batman skin for reading this comic. I was like, what the fuck? And so it's fucking cool. It's armored Batman. And then I have the Batman who laughs and Harley Quinn. I got them for free too.
Lies.
It's fucking cool. No, I didn't.
$32 a piece. I know.
The funny thing is Shady and his buddy, they actually were like, what? And so they subscribed to this thing to read the comic for $6 or whatever the fuck it is a month. And so they could get the skin for $6. They get 3 skins or whatever. It's fucking hilarious. But no, man, Fortnite is fucking awesome. The new Unreal Engine 5.1 update is insane looking. It does not look like Fortnite anymore. All the foliage, the lights, they using nanite. That should be the standard, or the base of what Unreal Engine can do. It runs really smooth, including the console. So it's just great, man. I can't get enough of it. It's got me, but it's got its hooks in me. So I'm enjoying that.
I was thinking about just railing on you and D-Batch about that Unreal 5 discussion we had, but I just didn't want to.
But you're a good friend.
I know. I could just suplex everyone so hard, but I'm just.
I want to add to that. That 5.1 update was a game changer, man, because before that, the engine was kind of struggling in a lot of areas, especially when it would come to the consoles. And this update shows that it's possible to get the game running at 60 FPS on Unreal Engine 5. So I'm sure there's going to be some concessions here and there to get it to run at 60 FPS on the consoles. Nonetheless, it will. So, this doom and gloom that some of us thought, it's not happening. So I'm happy to take this L because it's a good thing for gamers, man.
Unreal, it looks phenomenal. It really does look good. And again, the most impressive thing to me, fuck the real time, all the ray tracing, all of the lumen and nanite combined with 60 FPS on a fucking console. But
Sweet.
the thing that's the most impressive to me is the fact that my fucking fans don't ramp up on my Xbox now when I play it. I used to be able to hear them shits through, or that, yeah, it's got one fan, through my headset as I'm playing. Like, that's how loud it would get. And I don't know if it's because I got a pre-release version, right, or what, but the thing runs cooler and the game looks quite a bit better all at the same time. And again, it's the magic of software, Windows 95. So, D-Batch, I guess towards the back end there, you petered out there, after your rant on the ABK thing, but with the Fable stuff, I mean, you can add whatever you want to add there, as well as tell people what you've been playing and maybe where they can find you, huh?
Well, Fable, I think it's still off. I don't think it's 2023. I think it's 2024. It'll be great when it comes. I don't even want to speculate on games anymore. Just show us something, Microsoft, and I hope that they have a show early part of January, because the base, they really need something. Like they have the good grace of gamers right now, and they have a really good service with Game Pass, and that's saving their ass. But they need to show us some stuff. You can find me on YouTube at dbatch. You can find me on Twitter at dbatch. I'm playing the Callisto Protocol. Unlike Fonz, I really am digging this game, but I will say I am playing it on PC, so maybe the visual experience I'm getting is different, because I'm playing it on a 4090. Everything's maxed out, and the game is just drop dead gorgeous for me. I'm enjoying the story. I like the pace. I like everything pretty much about the game. Just the dodging at times when you're fighting. I'm at the end pretty much now, so I don't want to give any spoilers away, but there's a boss, and like, man, you got to dodge a lot, and then the pattern kind of changes, and like you can't really fuck up or you're dead, right? Well, depending on the difficulty, but if you're playing on a decent difficulty, you're dead if you fuck up. So I'm enjoying the challenge there, and I think it's an excellent game. I think it's a must play. They've patched it up pretty good on most platforms. PC, it's patched up. You're not getting those stutters pretty much anymore. Console, Xbox, I don't know what's going on. Still not getting the ray tracing. I hope that comes pretty soon. But yeah, I still recommend the game. I'm loving it. It was a great show. You know, my energy dropped off a little bit after that ABK discussion, just because it's just the hypocrisy. It just really pisses me off. It's really annoying. It's really
Understandable.
juvenile. It's really juvenile. The behavior, for me personally, just being objective and looking in. Like I said, when these guys are the biggest car thieves in the world, and they're accusing Microsoft of, hey, these guys want to get up to our levels of thieving of cars. That can't be. Like, what are we doing here?
These guys want to
So,
get
yeah.
2 spots behind us and thieving at cars, you know?
Yeah, I hope to put this past us pretty soon. I hope we get some mediation and it goes through. If not, it goes to court. I just hope the end result is good. But yeah, it's a little bit draining week in and week out talking about it, the ups and downs, because like a week ago we were like, yeah, this is like Tim was saying. I was doing the same thing on Twitter. I was like, yeah, this deal's going through. Oh, did you see what Gabe Newell said? Oh, you suckers. And the next day I got slapped in the face. So
fuck.
the roller coaster has been dramatic. But, this is a good thing for gamers. I don't understand why Sony gamers wouldn't want this, because if this deal were to go through as Microsoft proposed it to go through, they would be able to have the option of having this game in their PlayStation Plus service. They would still have it on their platform. It doesn't affect the gamer like Sony is saying. It might affect Sony's bottom dollar because they can't money hack the game. But apart from that, it does not affect the gamers, and it's just annoying. But anyways, another show, another week. I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, trust me, everyone in the chat, they definitely sympathize. All 800 people in chat definitely. I mean, it is frustrating, and it kind of takes it out of you. It does. But again, follow Dbatch at Dbatch, and his gamer tag is Gemini2. For those of you that have asked me on Xbox what D's gamer tag is, he refuses to change it to Dbatch because he likes to do things different. Hargi, what have you been playing, and where can people find you, buddy?
Yeah, I've been playing Danganronpa, which is an odd Japanese game that's in Game Pass. There's a trilogy of them. I've finished one. I'm finishing the second one, and I'll start up the third. And GameOnDaily.com and YouTube.com/GameOnDaily, and I'm HChani on Xbox.
And he will have a Twitter account at some point.
No,
it will happen. It's inevitable. It will definitely have. But big shout out to Argy for coming on and again, doing everything he does and just the countless games that he's giving away to people in the chat alone. One of the nicest guys I know. And just because he likes beat stuff don't mean he's, much different than a lot of you. So again, thanks for watching, guys. We're going to get out of here, get some food, play some games. You can find me here, obviously, right now, every week on the podcast on this channel. And, of course, I do plan on making videos again, just kind of getting through this slog of not caring about this acquisition stuff and all this stuff that has been happening. Plus, Microsoft have been quite not willing to do much right now. So, yeah, I guess I do plan on making something this week. So, plans, we'll see. But, again, thanks for doing everything that you guys do. And I will talk to you guys soon on this channel. We're out.
Later, everybody.
Later.
Peace.
Later.
Hey,
Later.